texting lingo, I'm sure most of you could tell me what LOL or BRB mean. But how many of you know what SDG means? Here's some guesses. Sweet dimpled girls? The Society for Doing Good? Salty Dino Gummies? What about Soli Deo Gloria, which is Latin for to the glory of God alone? Johann Sebastian Bach, one of the greatest composers of all time, frequently signed his music with the letters SDG. By examining Bach's life, I hope to show you how you can use your talents for the glory of God. Johann Sebastian Bach was born in 1685 to a very musical family in Eisenach, Germany. His father taught him to play the violin and the harpsichord, which was a predecessor to today's piano, while his uncle trained him in the art of playing the organ. Unfortunately, when Sebastian was only 9 years old, both of his parents died within 9 months of each other. Bach moved in with his older brother, Johann Christoph. He sang in the church voice choir until his voice changed, and then played the violin in the church orchestra. At just 18 years old, he started a job as a church organist. 4 years later, he married his cousin, Maria Barbara, and started a family. At 23 years of age, Bach became a court musician to the Duke of Sachsen-Weimar, and later for Prince Leopold of Anhalt-Köthen. But in 1720, tragedy struck again when Bach returned home from a 3-month journey to find that his wife, Maria Barbara, had died, leaving him with 4 children between the ages of 5 and 11. After Bach mourned the death of his wife, he fell in love with a soprano named Anna Magdalena. They were happily married for the remaining 28 years of Bach's life. She was kind to his children and often helped her husband in his work by copying his music. Soon after Bach's second marriage, his employer, Prince Leopold, also wed. The prince's new bride, however, did not appreciate music and began to draw her husband away from it. This, together with the fact that Bach wanted his children to be near a good university, caused him to apply for a position as the cantor and director of music at St. Thomas's Church in Leipzig, Germany. Although Bach was actually the town council's 3rd choice, they finally offered him the job. As the cantor and director of music, Bach had to teach Latin and music to the boys at St. Thomas's School, compose music for town events, and write and perform music for 2 churches each week. This music included 1 or 2 chorales, which were based on the biblical text for that day, and about a 20-minute long cantata, which integrated the scripture and the chorales. This last year, I participated in my church's Christmas cantata. We practiced for months, so I find it hard even to imagine writing, directing, and performing a cantata every week. Yet somehow, Bach managed to crank out 59 cantatas every year, even with a family of 10 children and myriad of other duties. Some have estimated that it would take an ordinary music copyist 60 years to copy all the music Bach wrote. Bach's compositions, especially his opening choruses, were carefully crafted to reflect the mood of the scripture they contained, and his cantatas were as much a lesson as the sermon itself. Let me read you a description of Bach's B minor Mass, which some have claimed is his greatest masterpiece. Among all his works, this is the one that gives us the clearest picture of his musical personality. As always in his music, the shape of each tune is guided by the meaning of the words. At, quote, "came down from heaven," the violin's quavers drift calmly downwards from the highest to the lowest string. At, quote, "ascended into heaven," the bass singers rise in an effortless arpeggio from their lowest to their highest notes. In the prolonged hush before the expected, quote, "resurrection of the dead," the harmonies move through remote regions that had never before been explored. And in the final, "grant us thy peace," the piercing notes of the trumpets mount higher and higher to their climax of gratitude. It is not only in his great masterpieces that Bach conveys such character in his music. It can be heard in each of the Sunday cantatas. Bach believed, where there is devotional music, God is always at hand with his gracious presence. He also declared, all music should have no other aim and end than the glory of God and the soul's refreshment. Where this is not remembered, there is no real music, but only a devilish hubbub. And finally, I play the notes as they are written, but it is God who makes the music. Bach wanted everything he did to bring glory to God. That is why he signed his music with SDG. My challenge to you today, will you live your life as Bach did, SDG, to the glory of God alone?